In this video we'll be talking about Ouija boards. I'm Charlie Kelly and this is Masterclass. So, dispelling the myths of Ouija boards. Many of you would have heard that these are a bad form of mediumship and you shouldn't allow them in your home, you shouldn't use them. You can open a portal or you can allow a gateway for the bad spirits to enter. And in this video I'll be explaining to you why that is just untrue. First of all, if you're going to use a Ouija board, I prefer the term spirit board. Ouija is just the name of a manufacturer that made these boards in America many years ago. And if you're going to use the Ouija board, you need to be in the right mindset, or certainly in the right understanding of how they work and how to use them. When you use them, you tend to hear stories of teenagers or people coming together where alcohol is involved, or maybe even cannabis. You get these college stories or these university stories that go along with it. And so you've got to already see the pattern that's forming there. A manifestation of fear can be presented through kinetic energy that goes onto the Ouija board / spirit board. So you understand immediately that as we're using fear and we're worried about a bad man coming onto that board and spelling out "kill you" or "you must die," it simply shows you that someone in your room has a fear of the board, a lack of understanding, and that is being projected through the planchette or through the glass that is being used. The simple philosophy behind this is that I know that the spirit world is love essence. Therefore, there are no bad spirits because they are spirit in essence, and their essence is pure love. Therefore, I know that they wouldn't be making their way to a Ouija board / spirit board to cause havoc. Again, it's just a manifestation of fear. When you start to use one of these seriously, you can use it as an intelligent way of communication. So if it starts getting things wrong or it's not spelling words correctly, it's just a lack of development. The same way that I would tune in to do my mediumship, to do it on a clairvoyant level or in the public arena. It just means that I haven't developed it enough. It's the same as any other form of mediumship. We have to develop that skill. Another problem that you'll find while using Ouija boards is that if someone is already filling in the next letter, so there are many words within the English language that always follow one another, you know, like Q is always followed by U. And so what happens is that as the word is being spelled out, the people on the board or around the table are already filling it in. So the key here is to keep a completely open mind. You also don't want to confuse the board. I'm not saying that the spirit world can be confused by what's going on. I'm saying that if there are 3 or 4 of you around a board and 3 or 4 of you are shouting an instruction to that board, then you may come under some difficulty that it's answering one of the 4 questions, or all 4 questions can't be answered by one simple answer, so it will start to spell one out and another question has already come in. So you really need to create, the same way as in a circle, like a circle leader, you kind of need a spokesperson for the board. Only one person asking the questions before the evening can commence. Now, the board will show a form of intelligence, and there are many experiments that I myself have put to the test, and many of my colleagues or the mediums that I know that have used spirit boards, they will devise experiments that will prove the intelligence of that. So it will spell its full name. Of course they know their name. Of course they know their address. Of course they know all the information about themselves. So the intelligence will be formed very, very observantly. You will see it very, very clearly. Another way of proving the intelligence of the spirit world using Ouija boards or spirit boards is that I have run 2 simultaneously in 2 separate rooms. I can have one communicating on one table and nothing happening on the other table in a completely separate room. However, you can ask the intelligence to stop on one board and continue that conversation on the room next door, which of course it will fulfill. So you start to get more of a greater understanding of how Ouija boards and spirit boards are working. It will always show you intelligence, and if used correctly, it can be a wonderful form of mediumship. The problem that we have is that there are many channels on YouTube or on Google that you can watch, and everyone speaks of protection and everyone says it's scary, and portals that can be opened and allow the bad spirits in. And this immediately will create a fear in your mind. A lack of understanding in that area will lean you towards the people that are speaking that appear to have knowledge or understanding of that. However, I do want to clear that up, that it is just a fear projection from the person doing the video or educating in the spirit boards. Through their lack of understanding or through their lack of knowledge, they have come up with the idea that there may be a portal or bad spirits. That is their belief and their understanding through a lack of understanding of the spirit world, and therefore they are projecting it there, and you, the viewer, may stumble across this video before you stumble across someone that uses this form of mediumship very regular. So the key is to be positive, the same way you would when you was going to see a medium or going to a public arena to watch a public demonstration of mediumship. The Ouija board and the spirit board is absolutely no different, and in some cases would be a much more direct or much more evidential kind of working when you're working with the spirit world. However, again, the fear usually takes over through the miseducation or the lack of understanding. We are led down the wrong paths, and this has led to the boards having a very bad name. Even videos and documentaries that I have watched before I made this video for you, the viewer. So if you can understand that the spirit world is in love, in essence, they're here for a purity and they're here to support us, then, and you are connecting in the right way, then the board is a fabulous form of communication. I must stress that if you understand fear in the right way, and you understand that a positive and a negative energy and the spirit world's energy are two completely separate substances, there are videos that I can link to in the information card for you to understand fear better, and that will be in the do's and don'ts of mediumship. So with the right understanding and the right people surrounding you, and you want to do it in the right way, so you haven't next a bottle of Prosecco or you haven't next any kind of alcohol, and you're not smoking any drugs, and you're actually developing this craft of mediumship through Ouija boards, you should now have a much greater experience, and one that will feel like it's right, one with a greater understanding. However, if you are someone that needs to protect yourself, or you feel that you need to open and close, again, I have done videos in the masterclass series where you can watch that video prior to this one. So maybe go and find that now, but understand that that is a ritual that your mind needs. It's not one that the board needs, and it's not one that mediumship needs. It's just a unique requirement for you. So again, I ask you to engage with this video. Let me know of your findings, what you have done on a board, if you're frightened to use a board or you use a board on a regular basis. This isn't for argument, this is just to express your opinion or even your experience. So again, I thank you for watching this video. Again, I ask you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, and I will sign off this week. I'm Charlie Kelly, and this has been Masterclass.